Have you ever looked back at a moment with someone and suddenly realized you missed something very important? It is a strange feeling. It is like you were watching a movie and missed the most important scene because you were looking the other way. Often these moments happen right in front of us. They are not hidden in a secret box or locked away. They are happening in the light of day, right in the middle of a conversation. But we just do not notice them until much later when we are sitting alone and thinking about our day. Before we start talking about the specific signs that show someone is interested in you, there is something very important you need to understand. If you have missed these moments in the past, please do not be hard on yourself. It does not mean you are not confident. It does not mean you are not aware of what is going on, and it certainly does not mean you are not attractive or liked. The truth is much simpler than that. The real reason most of us miss these things is that no one ever really sat us down and taught us how a woman's interest actually works. It is a language that is different from the way many men think and feel. For a man, liking someone is usually very direct. It is like a straight line from point A to point B. When a man feels an attraction, he usually wants to do something about it right away. He might speak up clearly or take a bold step forward. It is fast and it is simple. But for a woman, the feeling of interest is often more like a beautiful painting with many different layers. She does not just jump in. Instead, she observes what is happening around her. She watches how you act. She looks to see how you treat others. She creates a little bit of emotional space to see what you will do with it. She is being very thoughtful about the whole situation. She does not always walk right up and tell you how she feels. Instead, she quietly opens a small door. She does not push you through it. She just stands back and watches to see if you will naturally decide to step into that space with her. This is not about playing games. It is actually about how humans have stayed safe and happy for a very long time. If we think back to how our great-grandparents and the people before them lived, this way of acting makes a lot of sense. For a long time, the way women thought and felt was built around being safe, choosing the right person, and feeling sure about someone's heart before moving forward. Because of this history, instead of saying exactly what she wants the very second she feels it, she uses signs that are more quiet. These signs are based on a deep feeling inside her, an instinct that is still very much alive in all of us today. When she feels a spark of interest, she rarely stands on a rooftop and shouts it out. Instead, she sends out quiet signals. And if you have never been taught how to see those signals, it is very easy to walk right past them, even when they are as clear as day. The first sign to look for is when she starts to touch you without there being a big, obvious reason for it. This is not just a random bump or a mistake. It is also not the kind of polite touch you might give a stranger or a coworker when you are just being nice. There is a different feeling behind it. There is a different timing to it. You might notice her hand brushing against your arm while she is laughing at something you said. Maybe she lightly taps your shoulder to get your attention instead of just saying your name. Or perhaps she just finds small ways to be physically closer to you than she needs to be. What matters most here is not just that she touched you. What really matters is how it happens. She does not really need a reason to do it, but she does it anyway. And the big clue is that she does it more than once. Very often, she will let her hand stay there just a tiny bit longer than a person normally would. If you are paying attention, you will see that her hand does not just snap away like she touched a hot stove. There is a small pause. It is a tiny fraction of extra time where that physical connection stays alive. That little delay is very important. It shows that she feels comfortable with you. It shows that her heart is pulling her toward you. It stops being just a simple touch and starts being a quiet way for her to see how it feels to be close to you. In our minds and bodies, when we like someone, our body naturally wants to make sure that person is close by. Touching becomes a way of saying something without using any words at all. It is her body's way of saying, I feel something good here and I want to stay near it for a while. When you start to see this pattern, you will notice that it does not feel like she is trying too hard. It feels very natural and easy for her. The second sign is something people often miss because we look at eyes every single day. We assume that looking at someone is always the same thing. But when someone is interested in you, the way they look at you changes in a special way. Her eyes will look softer. She will focus on you more than she focuses on the other things happening in the room. It feels like she is looking at you with a purpose. She is not just looking at you to hear what you are saying. She is looking at you to really see you. Just like the touch we talked about, she might hold your gaze just a little bit longer than the moment actually requires. If you are talking about the weather or what you had for lunch, a normal look lasts only a second. But if she likes you, that look might stretch out just a tiny bit more. There is also a very specific way she might look away. Instead of turning her head quickly or looking off to the side like she is bored, she might look away very slowly. It is almost as if she is still thinking about the feeling she had while she was looking into your eyes. You might also see a change in her face. The area around her eyes might relax. She looks less worried and more open. She might not even know she is doing this. Most of the time she isn't thinking, I am going to look at him this way now. It is just her internal system showing what her heart is feeling, even if she has not said the words yet. Another very interesting thing to watch for is her pupils. Those are the dark circles in the middle of the eyes. When we see something we like or something that makes us feel excited, our pupils naturally get bigger. She cannot control this. It is a part of her body that works all on its own. If you see her pupils growing larger while you are talking, it is a very strong sign that she is interested in what is happening between the two of you. Also, keep an eye out for where she looks when she does turn away. Research has shown that when people feel a sense of softness or interest, they often look downward. They do not look up at the ceiling or away at the door. They look down. This shows that they are not being guarded or defensive. It is a very sweet and honest moment. You might even see a little pattern. She looks at you, she smiles, she looks down for a second, and then she looks back up at you again. This little cycle is like a quiet message saying, I like what I see and I feel safe with you. The third sign is one that many men completely walk past. She starts making up reasons to stay near you even when there is no logical reason left to be there. This is not just a coincidence. It is not just about being in the same place at the same time. It is about her making a choice to stay. She might stay in a conversation much longer than she needs to. She does not act like she is in a hurry to get anywhere else. She might ask you a question that does not really need a long answer, or she might bring up a brand new topic just when it seems like the conversation is about to end. She is trying to keep the moment going. You might also notice that if you start walking, she matches your speed without even thinking about it. If you slow down, she slows down. If you stop, she stops. What is happening here is very simple. Her heart and mind are enjoying being with you. Instead of letting the time together end, she is trying to make it last as long as she can. This is a very big sign because it is not just a look or a quick touch. It is about how she is acting with her whole body. She is not just waiting for things to happen. She is helping to keep the connection alive. This leads us to another sign that is very telling. She starts to create a feeling of privacy, even if you are in a room full of people. Think about being at a loud party or a busy restaurant. There are people everywhere, music playing, and lots of noise. Even in all that mess, she finds a way to make it feel like it is just the two of you. She might lean in very close so that she can whisper something to you. She might suggest that the two of you go over to a quieter corner to look at something or to get a drink. She might lower her voice so that only you can hear what she is saying. On the outside, these look like very small things. But if you look at the pattern, she is doing something very intentional. She is trying to see how it feels to have a private bubble with you. Psychologically, before two people get really close, they usually need to feel like they have a space that belongs only to them. She is testing that space. She is looking to see if you will step into that bubble with her. If you stay there and you act calm and kind, the connection between you will start to grow much deeper very quickly. Most people miss these moments because they seem so ordinary, but if you look closely, you will see that behavior almost never lies. It just speaks very quietly. When you start to put all these signs together, the touch, the eyes, the lingering, and the private space, you stop having to guess what is going on. You start to see a clear pattern. Interest and desire are rarely loud or noisy. They do not usually come with a big announcement. Instead, they show up in the small things. Understanding these patterns changes everything about how you talk to people. Instead of worrying and wondering if someone likes you, you can simply watch and listen. You start to see the way a person moves and acts as a kind of map. Once you learn how to read that map, you cannot unsee it. If you want to learn more about how these feelings grow and how to act in a way that is calm and strong, a group of caring experts has put together a very helpful guide. It is like a manual for understanding the human heart. It does not just help you see the signs, it helps you know how to respond so that the connection gets stronger in a way that feels good for everyone. Before you go on with your day, please remember one thing. You did not miss those signs in the past because you were failing at something. You missed them simply because no one had ever explained the secret language of behavior to you. Attraction is not as confusing as it seems at first. Most of the time, we feel confused because we just do not know what we are looking at. When you begin to understand these signs, the world starts to make a lot more sense. What we have talked about today is not just a bunch of ideas from a book. It is based on watching how humans actually work when they start to care about each other. Real interest shows up in the body before it ever shows up in a conversation. The way she touches, the way she looks at you, the way she stays nearby, and the way she creates space for you. All of these things change in small but very steady ways. None of these signs happen all by themselves. They pile up one on top of the other until anyone who knows what to look for can see them clearly. And that is the biggest change of all. It is not about just seeing one sign, it is about seeing the whole picture. When you see the whole picture, you can stop overthinking every single word. You can stop feeling like you have to solve a puzzle. You stop doubting yourself. Instead, you start to see that people act with intention. You see that things happen for a reason. This awareness also helps you feel much better inside. When you aren't guessing anymore, you can just be yourself. You don't feel like you have to prove how great you are or force anything to happen. You can just be there, listening and responding in a calm way. That calm feeling is actually very attractive all on its own. There is one more very important point to remember. Learning these signs is not about trying to control other people. It is not about trying to trick someone or make them like you if they don't. It is simply about being aware. It is about noticing the beautiful things that are already happening in the world around you. When attraction is real, you do not have to chase it. It shows itself through the way people act. And if it is not there, no amount of wishing or trying will make it appear. Knowing this protects your heart. It stops you from spending your energy on a situation that isn't going anywhere. It also helps you feel more confident when there is real interest. Instead of hesitating because you are unsure, you can trust what you see. You can act with a kind of quiet confidence that comes from knowing the truth. That one little difference can change the entire path of a friendship or a relationship. So, the biggest thing to take away from this is not just a list of 3 or 4 signs. It is a new way of seeing people. It is about seeing others clearly without being blinded by your own fears or hopes. It is about trading your confusion for observation and your overthinking for awareness. When you reach this point, you don't have to guess anymore. You start to see patterns in real time as they are happening. This naturally makes you feel more composed and stronger in every social situation you find yourself in. In the end, this is not about chasing anything. It is about learning to see the wonderful things that are already right in front of you. Once you can do that, every connection you make will feel much clearer, much calmer, and much more meaningful. You will find that life becomes a lot more enjoyable when you finally understand the quiet language that everyone has been speaking all along. Just take a deep breath, stay present, and start looking at the world with fresh eyes. You might be surprised at how much love and interest has been there waiting for you to notice it.